debt ceiling debate, they're dramatic enough. Well, then there's the human drama that is playing out in these negotiations. The two sides go back at the table again today after tensions escalated between President Obama and House Majority Leader Eric Cantor. That happened during the talks on yesterday. Well, Cantor says that the president got agitated after he proposed a short-term agreement to raise the debt ceiling. Now, that's something the president doesn't want to do. According to Cantor, the president said, "Eric, don't call my bluff." After Cantor pressed the issue, he says President Obama shoved back from the table, said, "I'll see you tomorrow," and walked out. So, how is it that this Republican, Eric Cantor, ends up being the one going toe-to-toe with the president in this debate? Joining us to talk about that is Dana Milbank. He's one of the best there in the Washington Post. Dana, good to see you. You write that what Cantor really wants is power here, that he's prepared to risk the full faith and credit of the United States to get it. Is that really true? Is that happening, do you think?
Well, all the other possibilities seem to have been ruled out here. And, there was, Cantor had a quote in his high school yearbook nearly 30 years ago that said, with his photo there, says, "I want what I want when I want it." He's had a remarkable rise to power here. And in large part, he's done that by harnessing the power of the Tea Party movement. He's much closer to these guys than John Boehner is. There's been a long-standing power struggle between these two men. And you see, Boehner has been working quite diligently and in good faith with the White House to strike a deal, and pretty much at every step along the way, Cantor has undermined it. We're now at a point where Cantor is saying he's not sure any sort of a debt limit increase can get through the House, so he may have ridden the tiger of the Tea Party a bit too far here, because it's not at all clear how he gets out of this.
Yeah, well, how much of an influence is the Tea Party here?
It's enormous because, look, there's three entities here. There's the White House, there's the Senate, and there's the House. And the Tea Party members, or those who are sympathetic to the Tea Party, really control this. And they are dominant within that caucus right now. And nobody wants to go up against them. They're fearful of that. And, in fact, John Boehner starts to talk about a grand bargain. He immediately gets undercut by Cantor and the next in line, Kevin McCarthy. So we've really reached, it's almost sort of a leaderless position here, that even if the leaders wanted to strike a deal, they may not have the ability to do it because of this very angry rank and file.
And Dana, perhaps it shouldn't come as a surprise to anyone. I interviewed Cantor in May, and here's how he set the stage for what was to come. Take a listen to this.
The winning issue, I think, in the midterm election was that the country began to see a Republican majority that was actually interested in solving problems and delivering results. So we put a plan on the table to address the fiscal imbalance in Washington and to get our fiscal house in order. And we also say, you know what, we've got a vision for how we're going to start to grow the country again so we can see small businesses finally begin to create jobs, something that I know that a lot of Americans are waiting for.
So, Dana, is Cantor the designated pit bull of the party now? He's kind of getting a wink and a nod from the GOP, or is this a guy who's just going rogue?
Well, he's going rogue from the leadership, but in the sense that he has a large amount of the caucus behind him. His people say he's merely reflecting the interests of his caucus, his Republican members. Now that's true, but there's a question of leadership here, and certainly John Boehner's saying, Mitch McConnell saying, look, if we don't raise this debt limit, things are going to get a whole lot worse. McConnell's already talking about, as you know, sort of punting off this decision, which will do nothing. So they really have to make the decision between getting not exactly what they wanted or getting nothing at all. And so far, a lot of people are willing to say, in that House caucus, are willing to say, okay, we'll take nothing, we'll see what happens, we'll try our luck with this default, with this failure to meet the debt limit.
And Dana, obviously, Cantor's the one who's in the room there. Is there anyone else who can be in that room with the president and potentially resolve this stalemate, or is it really Cantor versus Obama?
That's the primary drama here. You have other players now. Of course, there's still Boehner. Mitch McConnell is desperately looking for a way out. He sees this as destroying the Republican brand if they don't resolve this. And you've got other players like Rob Portman in the Senate who are trying to talk some sense into their colleagues in the House, saying, all right, let's just avoid this calamity and then live to fight another day and try to resolve this in some other way.
All right. Dana Milbank, thank you so much. Good to see you.